It's a new stream. Oh, this is a frustrating. Hello, I'm back. It started a new stream on me. I'm so sorry, everybody. This is ridiculous. Ah! Oh, you found me? See, I can't hide. I told you I was playing hide and seek. This is stupid. I'm really sorry. Oh, can't believe this. Oh, this is really frustrating. So, all right. So I sound better. Maybe I needed to just, I don't know. Just need to get word out that I've moved. I've moved house. Oh, dear me. Hopefully everyone will find me. Hello. I'm really sorry, everybody. Okay, so maybe this is all I needed to do was to jump out and start a new stream. So, hi Dom, I've missed you around. Oh, it said not able to connect, refresh your page. So I refreshed the page, not realizing that it was actually going to kick me out of the whole thing. So that was clever. How you been, Dom? I think last time we spoke you had computer issues. Did you fix them up? Okay, we're back. Hopefully everyone else can find me. So what we're doing is we're still you're watching the video to explain what has happened. Oh, been busy. All right, so we watched the video of Jessa last and explain about what was going to happen, and now we've got the embellished version happening here.
This, and the interesting thing that I thought out of all of this was that she said that post with COVID, she's worried, or she was worried, that she wouldn't be able to have her mom there with her. And Michelle apparently is going to be there with her, and so she's going to be delivering with Michelle.
I told my birth team, my family, I'm like, yeah, if I go to the hospital, I'm probably just getting an epidural. I have sisters and sister-in-laws who've had epidurals, and I'm like, okay, this sounds good.
Jean, this is a new stream. It kicked me out, so I got kicked out. Did she just say she was concerned about Michelle?
I told my birth team, my family, I'm like, yeah, if I go to the hospital, I'm probably just going to end up getting an epidural. I have sisters and sister-in-laws who've had epidurals, and I'm like, okay, this sounds good. I think I've done the natural thing 3 times, and I wouldn't be surprised if I just got an epidural. I was worried with like the COVID stuff if I would be able to have my mom there, and now I can. So the hospital allows 2 people, so I can have Ben and my mom both there. So I'm really excited about that.
And Michelle has gone through a lot of births. Obviously, she's been at her daughter's home births in the past. It was her that actually called 911, I think, for Spurgeon's birth, where she said that Jessa needed to go to the hospital. So she has assisted and sort of provides support while her daughters are in.
Michelle has had 19 kids or something, or 20 kids or whatever. So, yeah. What is the big deal about it? Oh, I don't know.
Birth. So Michelle is going to be there, which tells me that Miss Jessa is probably very much still on Team Duggar, which explains her statement that she put out that sounded very much like her parents. And when she was
Team Duggar? What does that mean? No, this is Restream. I know people have had trouble with StreamYard, but no, this is Restream. This is a different platform. So I don't know. Just have a listen to what she says here.
Statement that she put out that sounded very much like her parents. And when she was talking about Ivy getting ready for a new sibling. She was talking about how she's been working with baby dolls with her to get her prepared. And if you remember, Jessa's baby girl has all those baby dolls that she got for her birthday. She was talking about how her mom was a really good mom. Check this out.
My mom was always really great at just including the older siblings and making them feel like they're part of the process. And so I think that's something we're going to try to do a lot of, is just like help mom pick out the outfit and bring baby a toy, and letting them be involved as much as possible helps somewhat with that jealousy.
So I don't know, but I mean that's what I did with my daughter when my son was born. She helped a lot, and she had her own doll to look after. I don't see a big deal in that.
The thing that I always find interesting about Jessa more than any of the others is that when anything is going wrong, when everything's going chaotic and the Duggars are not getting the best PR or publicity, or they're not getting the best stories in the news, and if, say, Michelle and her dad are taking a lot of heat, she is like the first child to defend her parents. In this situation, she didn't flat out defend them, because she's not really addressing any of the criticism that they've been receiving, but rather sort of reinforcing that she believes her parents are good parents. Like, my mom was so good about letting the big kids get in to help.
That's not what she said. She hasn't reinforced the bat. She said her mum was very good. I mean, I don't know. I can't, guys. I can't. This is reaching, in my opinion. Absolutely reaching. She didn't say anything about whether her mum was. She said her mum was really good at including the older kids when there was a new baby. There was a lot of them.
My mom's going to be at my delivery. My mom is going to be reinforcing this idea that she and her mom very much have this tight relationship. And then
it's her mom.
Finally, she talks about how gender reveal.
We decided that we are not going to tell our kids before, that we're going to wait, and when the baby's born, we're going to tell them first. So they'll get to know gender and name and all of that, and then Spurgeon and Henry will be the ones who get to announce that to grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. So that's kind of the compromise we came to.
And so not shocking at all, Jessa is not going to reveal the gender of her baby.
This is KJ's truth. Sarah loves donuts. But don't you see how interesting it is after seeing what Jessa had to say, and now seeing, and she's used a lot of Jessa's video in there, and then has interpreted it. But yes, it is COVID. Some people, yeah, she's happy her mum could be there. Because otherwise she would have had her husband. Is this what it's called? Creative reporting? Okay.
She has not done this with any of her previous births, so I wouldn't expect that. The other thing I noticed was that she said that this is the most weight she's ever gained in a pregnancy, and she's having some pains through her pelvic area. So overall, this is what I got from Jessa. Jessa is going.
Often you do put weight on the more kids you have, because everything stretches a little bit further. But, I was bigger with my second than I was with my first, and they were the same size, around the same size, born, but I was way bigger. So anyway, I haven't had 4 though.
Going to go to the hospital. She's considering having an epidural, and she is it sounds like a little bit salty about going to the hospital because of the laws related to midwives not being able to have Pitocin. So
where do you get that? How is she salty? No, they're going to hold the birth couch to the hospital. Where did the saltiness come from? I didn't think it was very salty. She said it was a new experience for her. I didn't. I'll pull that back so you can have a listen to it. She said she was a little bit salty. Have a listen. She
trying to go to the hospital. She's considering having an epidural, and she is it sounds like a little bit salty about going to the hospital because of the laws related to midwives not being able to have Pitocin. So part of me wonders,
It's Pitocin, not Tocin.
if Ben was the one that had to sort of convince her that she needed to go to the hospital for this one instead of doing a home birth. There was a lot of speculation with her last birth at home that, one, she made up a story about how her doctor was not in town, or her.
Now, she also said in that previous video that Ivy came within 2 hours. Her waters broke in the morning, and from the first lot of contractions until Ivy was born, it was 2 hours that she came quick. She didn't sound salty. No, she didn't. She'll order cook.
Midwife was out of town or something like that, where she couldn't go to the hospital, which didn't make sense because you don't have to have your doctor in town to deliver a baby. You literally just go to the hospital and a doctor on call will help deliver the baby. So people felt like that was used as an excuse for her not to use the hospital, which made people worried that with this current pregnancy, she would do something similar after having yet again another hemorrhage. The biggest thing with Jessa is that people are always concerned that she has this sort of martyr complex that's super common in this cult, where women feel like giving birth is sort of like this benchmark of you're entitled, like you're suffering, and that by giving birth without any medication, you are really giving into, what your body is capable of doing and submitting to God.
Wait on, but yeah, she was saying her sisters and sister-in-laws had epidurals. Her sisters. To go along with the birth plan, and then you feel guilty when they don't, but you should never do. But it is. You have what you want to do. Birthing your child is so personal. Yeah, I agree. Sarah. Wind Whispers cult. This family is not a cult. In the past, Jessa said she had Ivy at home because of several reasons, not just the talk.
And so by using medication and going to the hospital, people are always thinking like, oh, she doesn't want to do that. She wants to be a superwoman. And nobody here has anything against whether you've decided to go pain-free with an epidural or natural. It all depends on the person. With Jessa, the concern has always been that people had felt like she has maybe been putting her own livelihood at risk in order for her to reach this accomplishment that is promoted so heavily in these circles, where women are discouraged from going to the hospital. They're encouraged to have home births. They're discouraged from using any medication. They're really given misinformation about all kinds of facets of childbirth.
No, you're right, Jessica. Home birthing is not just Didn't Meghan Markle just have a home? Wasn't she going to have her daughter at home? I know she's just given birth. Was that a home birth? She was talking about a home birth. Hi, Jessica. Harry and she goes after the cult, but she's not. She's specifically talking about a family who she claims is in the cult. Her livelihood. Oh, cool. She's working around birthing, which is going to be different. And commentators. Yeah, I don't know who the people are. I don't know. I know there was talk that Meghan Markle was going to have a home birth, or she wanted to have a home birth. Oh, hello, Totally Clueless. Hi, Totally Clueless. We've just been comparing Jess's video to without the crystal balls announcement. In fact, no, she didn't have a home birth. She ended up having it in the hospital. I just was having a look. But she had planned on having a home birth. She's bashing home birth, says Jessica. So, all right.
And so people have been concerned that if any of the Duggar girls were to have a major complication, it could be Jessa. So I'm happy here that she's going to use a hospital. I hope she sticks with that. I'm glad she has been like understanding the severity of what she's through, understanding the risks of why she needs to do this. So her baby's coming. She's not specified what the due date is. She's in the 3rd trimester, which means it's coming anytime in the next 3 months. It could be next week or it could be 3 more months from now. So we really don't know. She's never said. So Jessa Blessa is going to the hospital. She might use an epidural and she's going to be there, meaning Jessa is still dependent on her parents. Jessa is still not going to separate from her parents if
How did you get that? Yes, congratulations. Who was it? Feel the love. Have I disappeared again? All right. So because her mother's going to the birthing suite with her, it means she can't disconnect from her parents, right? Is that what she's saying? I don't know. The only thing about it, if you have your first child, a home birth is okay. You have your husband family. Yeah. I'm sorry, I've heard too many births. So, well, that's is that way? Oh, but then you got the 6 weeks recovery afterwards, Dom, with 8 kids. Oh yeah, they're Catholic. Wow. I think a home birth never actually came to my mind, actually. My daughter did natural birth, not intended, but she did so well for the pain. She was too far dilated by the time she had asked for it. Wow. Big baby. Big.
and were to return, Jessa would likely return with the show, and Jessa is likely not going to sever ties with her parents at this point, it seems, because of that dependency that she has both financially and emotionally. The sad reality of this is that some of the kids in this cult will never leave simply because of their brainwashing and their dependence. And it's sad because she and Ben have become so dependent on the Duggars, in my opinion, simply because he works for them and financially their lives depend on not upsetting them. So I don't know if we're going to see a reunification with Jill and her sister Jessa, and if Jessa will ever break free. But for now,
what on earth is that? Can you see the thumbnail? She's got so frustrating. I don't know what's frustrating about it, other than this whole thing.
Now she's on Team Duggar. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.
She's on Team Duggar. Really? At the end of the day, that's her mother. She's brainwashed, unfortunately. So let's look at the hospital. Let's look at the comments. When Jessa said her mum got the older ones involved, that was an understatement. The older girls did the work. I was shocked that she said that her and Ben talked about it rather than just prayed about it. I noticed that too. I think Jessa doesn't truly know anything differently. But my mum was one of 9. And guess what? They looked after that. They weren't in a cult. They weren't even religious. You cannot be Team Duggar if all you do is learn about them. I never thought about Stockholm Syndrome and the Duggars. I think you're right. I'm glad she's planning on going to hospital. Hopefully she'll follow through. I think she's a high-risk pregnancy. But what happens if the baby decides to come before she gets to the hospital? It's not high risk. I need Pitocin during birth, my weed wife while I'm crowning. I'm totally subbing to all the Duggar YouTube channels. I feel like I'm helping them get out of JB's thumb. I say get the coin. Just so you're an adult now, your mother did not protect you from Josh. How can you praise your mother? You have almost 4 kids. It's not your job to protect them. Would you not protect them from Josh? Your mother is your father's robot. How can you protect Josh? Would you offer your kids? Like, this is the comments. I loved her video, nothing negative at all. I feel she was happy. Just because Jess's video was fine, she seems happy, and we should be happy for her instead of tearing apart her every word and putting a bad spin on everything. Tried messaging you on Instagram, but you aren't accepting messages. I wanted to tell you I literally love your content. I made a playlist of your videos to watch. She's telling you can tell their religious is run by a man. They have no idea what it's like to give birth and the pain that women go through. I wish Jessa would reveal her due date. So these are the people who are in her comments. I don't think she'll go to hospital. I think she'll put it off until she can't. She's feeling forced, and I think she's so headstrong that she will have a home birth. It's so disrespectful that you called their family cult. I'm in no way favouring the Duggars, but we have to keep in mind that they are a family and they do love each other. And that's the good point. Because at the end of the day, Michelle Duggar is her mother. I subscribe to both you and Jessa, but I chose to watch your video talking about her video because I don't want that family to get ad money. What? I have a friend who is a widower with 8. His wife had 7 successful home births and the one that ended her life. If she was in the hospital, she would have lived. Go to the hospital, bring your midwife, Dorla, just please have the medical care you need just in case. My friend and his kids are wrecked. They suffered so much. 8 children no longer have their mother. Go to the hospital to have your baby. I believe it when all possible have a home birth is best with a midwife. I wish I had been able to do so. Hospitals are really only for emergency. Nothing wrong with going without meds also. Frankly, it's not anyone's business what others should or shouldn't do in this case. Now, if it was me and I had her history, I would opt for a hospital birth too. But whatever anyone decides, I support. Short order. Most families during the 60s, 70s were large families. The pill wasn't available then. Housing was affordable. Families were more connected with grandparents and aunties, etc. Catrice squeezing the very last bit. She is, isn't she? Then someone says they couldn't get through Jessa's video, and then it says Jessa looks like she has a lazy eye. Really? Anyway, that was Without a Crystal Ball. So we watched both of them, and so you saw. I don't know where it comes through Jessa's frustration. I don't know where that frustration part comes from the title. Does anyone have any idea? I was present with all 5 of my grandbabies' birth with my hospital babies. I remember, yes. This is what I don't understand. So that title was definitely clickbait. I have friends who almost died during died during a birth in their 40s, and our vet died last month, 46. I support respecting every woman's choice. Well, and the fact of the matter is that she's pro-choice, and nobody has a say over anybody else's uterus, she keeps saying. Isn't that what she keeps saying? Katie is finding out there's nothing left to talk about with the Douglas. Now she's playing Pearl Clutching. She is, because she did it again. I think she took it down on Twitter. I don't know what the big deal is. Home, hospital, who cares? And considering her previous experience, having the baby at the hospital is far safer for both. Yes, that's right. And at the end of the day, that's their choice. I have just seen what Ozbel's just done. Hang on, I'm going to pull it up. Anyone's in the Discord. Oh, Ozbel is a genius, seriously. We need to get a name for our sock puppet too. We need to name our sock puppet. Look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. Ready? I'm not pro-choice. I believe mortality is an issue. God gave man free will to decide what to do. It is women's choice between God. Well, good point, Dom. It's a very good point. But I'm saying Katie's pro-choice, and yet she's criticizing someone's choice where they have their baby. Having a child or not isn't an easy choice. Everyone has different ways to take in life. So we need to name our sock puppet. Yes, one of the Bates has got a baby in the hospital in NICU. Yeah, isn't that an amazing picture? That is going to be the thumbnail for today's. Oh yes, that's right, Dom. She does. Isn't that? Oh, that was amazing. So that was after all the sock puppet talk the other night. Oh boy. All right, let me find last night's. Let me get Llama Girl up. It's every time I try to stream, she's stuck in there. Every time I try to airdrop, my internet drops at the moment. So I think Llama Girl's done some videos from today. Hi, Bo. Oh no, Dom, you are allowed to have your opinions, and that is perfectly fine. You're allowed to. Now, what I find really interesting is that you may have remembered the other day that KJ said she wasn't going to talk about her son. Well, hello, Jay Litter, Jay the 22-year-old. Hello, how are you? You're about to go bye-byes. Bye-bye. I think I blocked them. Bye-bye. Got him. Hey, I dealt with him. I got him. Yay! I caught him. I caught a troll. That was yeah, I got a troll. I was fast. My trigger finger was so fast. The troll didn't know what hit him. All right. Is this that one from today? Caught in a trap. Da 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 da. All right, let's see if this is the first one. My trigger finger, yeah. It maybe was the sock. All right.
Uptick on YouTube and on Twitter of just this. I don't even know. I started thinking about this. I don't even know. A couple months ago, when I started seeing like this uptick on YouTube and on Twitter of just different people consistently calling out other people constantly, and like I was watching it from afar, and I wasn't involving myself in it, and I was like, what do you think drives people to put themselves like in a position where they feel like it's their job to call everyone out? Is there a way that people can like report on others without calling people out? Like, is there a way that people can do a story and like without calling people out and like shaming whatever it is that they've done? You know what I mean? I was watching, and this is my honest like opinion. I watched the Frenemies podcast for a very long time, and I think I stopped watching it when they started like all of their episodes were like calling people out. It got like so overwhelming to me that I was like watching it and I'm like, wait a minute, every episode you guys are calling someone out, you're canceling someone. I didn't understand why that was a part of the podcast. And I started like going, okay, so on every podcast, are we going to be canceling someone that somebody else has drama with, or are we having problems here? I keep seeing issues here. And I'm like, okay, so I feel like, okay, so this was my thought process, and I'm sure it's not a popular opinion.
All right, so that's the first one.
I started thinking about this.
Just got to try and get this back.
I don't even know. A couple months ago.
She doesn't know. All right.
People out because you want to get rid of your competitors? Are you calling people out because you don't?
Here we go, second one.
Because you want to get rid of your competitors? Are you calling people out because you don't like their behavior? Like, when did your job become trying to cancel other people? This is always something I've wondered about on YouTube. Like, has this always been something that's been on YouTube? Is this something that's like new? And I realized like last year, I definitely got like kind of swept into some of that culture. And I didn't like it. To get clout. So you call people out to get clout. Is that what it is? But then don't you get everyone that hates, like, don't you get all the fans that are, like, super into that person? Don't they start hating on you?
Hello,
I don't
Looney.
understand it. What makes me realize this is what I went through, right? So I got canceled, allegedly.
When?
And I was like, okay, so like people bring up things I said that they didn't like or opinions that I had that they think are offensive. And I'm always like, okay, so you don't like what I said or you think this is offensive. But it's like, I have a lot of people that don't find that offensive or weren't bothered by that. So why is it that because you say I'm canceled, how am I actually canceled? If my channel is still growing, if I still get views, if I still make money, theoretically, when you're talking about someone, you actually amplify their platform, bringing them attention in a way. Unless you're reporting on crime or something like that. Yeah, I mean, in the 90s, they went on a talk show.
Possibly Sunshine. That's what she says, that she likes all the people that hate on her because it helps with her channel. And by the way, I'm actually refreshing Emily Artful's page so that as soon as it's uploaded, if I'm still online, we'll look at it.
But the more that you talk about someone, the more you draw attention.
So she's saying about calling people out, but didn't she call Creepshow out just the other day?
Calling people out because you want to get rid of your competitors? Are you calling people out because you don't like their behavior?
And it's about why you call people out.
And with my son's stuff, I just want to get a new car.
Oh. So now she starts talking about her car.
And with my son's stuff, I just want to get a new car. We're not really looking. He doesn't struggle to walk. He has a lot of people that have wheelchairs. It's not because they struggle to walk. It's because they have issues with distance.
No.
And that's what he has. He has hypotonia.
Oh, I have to warn you.
So, like, he doesn't have muscular dystrophy, so it's like his
I don't know whether Llama Girl has actually got it in her clips, but I need to give you a trigger. She may kiss a toad at some point in time, and I can't remember at what point it was, but I'm traumatized. So I need to just give you that warning, and I don't know what part of it is.
His muscles are not like, his muscles are not disappearing. He has hypotonia, so he has low muscle tone, and that makes it. When you have low muscle tone, you get very tired very quickly.
There's a comment here. It's just here. It says, I saw some video of your hubby eating cupcakes. I about died. That's the ASMR one he did that she didn't like.
And then he has like all these other health problems and he has like trouble regulating his temperature and just a lot. And so he can walk, and stuff. It's just when we go on like longer distances, if we're going to go on a walk. It just helps them reserve energy, really is what it's for.
But she did say she wasn't going
Like
to talk to him again.
People that have wheelchairs, like they can walk, but they can't. It just helps them conserve energy. So that's what we have again. No, it's not autoimmune. Well, no. He has a neurological disorder.
Yes, this is Llama Girl's Twitter account. I tried to export it from my computer to my phone, but it keeps dropping out my internet for some unknown reason. So, but there's a few missing. But she starts talking about cars, and she talks about how she's got a Highlander, and it's not big enough for all of Von's stuff. Plus, she's had it 11 years, and it hasn't done 100,000 yet. And there was one point where she's talking about the car, and you hear Todd in the background say, well, why do you need a new car? You don't go anywhere. And she goes, well, if I was to go anywhere, and Todd's got a Camry. As I said, I don't know, but I need to warn you that there is a toad alert somewhere.
He has a neurological disorder. He has no pituitary gland. And he has hypothalamus dysfunction. And he has central nervous system dysfunction. He has a neural tube defect. Or a neural tube, whatever they call them. An NTD. The most common NTD is spina bifida. He does not have a spina bifida, but he has a lot of the same issues as someone that has spina bifida. You're pregnant, whoops.
What does the whoops mean?
He's 8. Did I know about that before he was born? No, we did not know. And yes, kids with feeding tubes can absolutely swim. So the same way that like you and I, when we swim, if we get water in our mouth, it goes directly in our stomach. It's no different than if you have a feeding tube. And when you have a feeding tube, the stoma is very small, and it just is a little hole, and it's plugged. It's plugged by the tube, so he doesn't have a lot of drainage or anything that comes out of it.
Okay, as I said, I don't know when that happens. All right. So this one going on about one. All right, she does go into some really graphic detail about her son as well. So just so that you know. Yeah, she can.
Super long. It just depends on whether or not he's feeling good or not. When he doesn't feel good, like remember a month ago or whatever when he had that headache and he wasn't feeling good for like a week, we had to use a pump, and then he's on the pump almost all day. But otherwise, it's like 10 minutes. So those are like common misconceptions that people have, that you only need a wheelchair if you can't walk, and you only need a feeding tube if you can't eat. And it's like, a lot of people with feeding tubes can eat, they just can't eat enough, or they have other issues that prevent them from eating effectively. A feeding pump, it's like a machine that you hook your food up to, and then the food runs through it. Yes, his nurses go to school with him.
I assume too. I agree. I can't make sense of it either. Doesn't make any sense.
So the reason, that was another thing I should have brought up. So people were like so frustrated that I said that the baby,
All right, so she's going to go into some really graphic medical details now. I think Llama Girl saved us from the frog prince kiss, because I tell
feeding
you,
doesn't take super long.
Oh.
It just depends on whether or not he's feeling good or not.
that's the last clip.
When he doesn't feel good,
That's the last clip. Sorry, I'm just
like
gonna.
remember a month ago or whatever when he had that headache and he wasn't feeling good for like a week?
It's the wrong one playing.
And then he's on the pump almost all day.
Oopsies, where are we? Where's
But
our start?
otherwise, it's like 10 minutes. People were like so frustrated that I said that the baby, the baby that Whitney and Zach's baby that's on life support, people got really upset that I called it life support, but that's just factual. People get sensitive about that stuff, but it's actually the truth. Anytime someone's on a ventilator for breathing issues, that is what's considered life support. And in the case of this child, his lung collapsed and they had to insert a chest tube on his side for drainage, which helps the lung expand. And if he didn't have the chest tube in and he wasn't on a ventilator, he would not have survived. So that's why he's on life support. Will he recover? You would hope so, if he's responding to treatment. But you always have to be cautious. Infants are so fragile.
Can you hear the cat in the background? And the blocking. Blockity blocky block.
People with I don't do stuff about my stuff as a mom.
There we go. So that's the next one.
like so frustrated
Okay.
that I said
I'm
that
just trying to get the top. There we go. All right. Here's the next one. Still giving graphic details. Cat calling her lies. Well,
it sucks when you have to say things like my child is on life support, but that's the factual reality. It's hard for people to understand that not most people that are on life support, a lot of them don't die, but it truly is sustaining the child's life, which is amazing. Like, medicine is amazing. My son has been on life support multiple times. My son was on life support when he was 3 months old. My son was on a BiPAP when he was a baby, which is like low level. But then when he was 3 months, he was on full life support. He was on life support when he had heart surgery. He was on full like bypass machines for that. He was on life support when he was recovering from heart surgery. He survived these things, but it's the factual reality of it.
I did the same thing, Dom.
Heart surgery was the worst.
Okay, so that's that one. I know I keep hearing the cat. I keep looking around for a cat too, and I don't even have one at the moment. All right, so there's that one. Yeah. All right, so we've still got a few more here. All right. It's worse when I go downstairs. Yeah, I go downstairs and then I go looking for something and then realize that I'd actually left it upstairs and then just go back upstairs again.
Baby. The baby that Whitney and Zach's baby that's on life support, people got really upset that I called it life support, but that's just factual. People get sensitive about that stuff, but it's actually the truth. Anytime someone's on a ventilator for breathing issues, that is what's considered life support. And in the case of this child, his lung collapsed and they had to insert a chest tube on his side for drainage, which helps the lung expand. And if he didn't have the chest tube in and he wasn't on a ventilator, he would not have survived. So that's why he's on life support. Will he recover? You would hope so, if he's responding to treatment. But you always have to be cautious. Infants are so fragile.
Tom, that's funny. Sorry, I should laugh. Can I tell you I've done the same thing?
People with I don't do stuff about my stuff as a mom.
Okay, so there's that one. Then we've got this one. Oh, is this the one we're up to?
child is on life support, but that's the factual reality. It's hard for people to understand.
Okay, so it's the same one. All right, so then we've got, she said trigger warning.
Chest tubes are so if anyone's had heart surgery, my heart goes out to you, like literally, because the recovery from heart surgery is so hard. Like there's parts of like they don't really tell you about when you're walking into it. So you like walk into it and they're like, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to, they tell you like we're going to break the sternum. Like they use like, I think they use like a saw and they basically they cut the sternum straight down, and then they put the child on, or the adult on bypass, which means that while they are operating on the heart, the actual like machine is pumping blood and doing everything for the child or the adult. And once they take the heart out of the body, it like turns into like a jellyfish. I remember sitting with the surgeon right before surgery, and he was like, all right, so he's going to go out on bypass, and then we will take the heart out, and the heart will become like a jellyfish in my hands. And I'm like, that is so wild to me. And then they are able to like go in and like fix things. I felt like she said, I'm supposed to have heart surgery, but I'm trying to control this medication. It's just too scary for me.
Okay. I drove past my street last week. I had to end up.
Surgery was the worst.
Go back. All right. So hopefully she hasn't triggered anyway. All right. And end up having to turn back after reaching the high street. I suppose. Oh, I should love Totally Clueless. I've done the same thing as well. Do you know, when I moved house, so usually when I used to go drive out the driveway from church, and there's a roundabout, and I used to turn right at the roundabout and then go down the street, and then it's a straight line. Anyway, this time I have to turn left and it's a straight line. Anyway, one Sunday after church, and I'd probably been in my new house for about 6 to 8 months, I could drive, I turn right at the roundabout, and I'm nearly there, and I suddenly go, I don't live here. This is my old house. I haven't lived here for 8 months. And I had to go all the way back. Oh, dear. So that's what I was talking about. I just want to show you something. I want to show you something very quickly. Talk about some trolleys. I want to show you this comment. I've been a bit down today. Oh, look, it's horrible. Apparently, I'm laughing like a banshee and I'm demonic. Yes, I know you're watching. So, and I'm allowed to laugh. I'm allowed to have fun. But thank you for watching. You know who you are. Well, apparently I sound like a demon. I'll show you. Where is it? Oh, what happened? I'll go back to it in a minute. I'll show it to you. I just want to show you something. Where are we? Where is it? So there's somebody that's been commenting on my videos, and they've not been very happy with me. And I've, it's getting to a point where I'm just going to pull it up because I want you to see it. She probably comments on just about every video at the moment. I'm just trying to find what video it is. She's commenting on every video at the moment, and it's fine. Don't let the haters get to you. It's I mean, she's allowed to not like me, and that's fine. And I know, but I want to thank you for watching me, and for commenting each time, because but I just want to show you this. But it's every single video. Oh, I know you all do. Llama Girl's also out. You can search for her. Oh, where are we? I'm going to just take that filter off because I want it here. So, here we go. Like this one. There's a couple of them. Like if it's so emotionally draining watching Katie Joy, then don't you think you should not watch her? Why would a person purposely do something that will emotionally drain them? Because people want to see them. It's ridiculous how this channel and a couple of others spend 2 to 3 hours bashing someone. If it went for Katie Joy, they'd have no content. If they hate her so much, then they don't stop watching her. It goes both ways. All right, they'd have nothing to talk about if they stopped watching. It's an addiction. And then there's this one. This has just been posted. It says, did you listen to yourself in your last video? You're mimicking and laughing hysterically was way beyond a joke. It was scary. And then this one just posted, OMG, listen to yourself. You're screaming like a banshee. It's almost demonic. So, So thank you again for your feedback. Somebody else complained because somebody asked. Somebody else complained because apparently they were harassed by my supporters who asked whether they were Katie. And I don't know whether it was this one or not. But the funny thing is that we were talking about things that we do. We weren't even talking about Katie, but yeah, everything comes back to her. Yes, I'm laughing. Anyway.
That's going to happen with this court case.
All right. So now she's going to talk about Josh's court case and what's going to happen there. So I'm sorry I had a bit of a detour, but I just got the notification on my phone. It's like, this is like a joke.
This is the weird thing I've noticed in the Josh Duggar court case. I check every day to see if there's been any filings, and it's bizarre. Typically, if somebody's court case is like, T is in my intro, yes. I don't know what it is. So, I'm sorry, Spicy Guacamole 710. Yes, T is in my intro. It's like a play on words, though. And of course, my haters now will say that, like, oh, Katie says she's not a T channel, so she's such a hypocrite. So here's the thing I was saying is that they haven't filed anything, like, at all. I did a video on Jessa's video. You should go check it out on my channel. I already talked about it on YouTube. But they haven't filed anything. Like, they haven't, unless they file something, unless his side files something in opposition of what is on there, this will go to trial in July.
And she said it wouldn't.
Like, every other criminal case I've watched on Pacer, you will see that but there hasn't been anything filed. That's what I'm saying. Like, generally at this point, there would have been something filed. There's nothing. They haven't contested anything. They haven't filed anything, which is weird to me. I remember when Todd Chrisley got arrested like 2 years ago, he was immediately filing things
Hello, Vidandra.
for continuances. The Duggars have filed nothing.
Duggars have filed nothing. And she's going to go on to say that she's got experience from her own court case. But, like, her court case was a civil.
What's going to happen with this court case?
And civil and criminal are different. I don't know, because I don't know how things work there, but a lot of stuff, sometimes things are registered that they've been filed, but they're not available for public viewing. Does that happen over there? Could it be that they've filed something, but they've not released it to the public? Well, that's what she's saying. She's supposed to be.
Evidence to anything. It's
Hang on.
anything. The Duggars have filed nothing. Nothing. Like, they haven't done any requests. They haven't done any objections. They haven't filed anything for, like, to suppress evidence, to anything. It's weird. I've never seen a case go from arrest to nothing.
Well, they might be able to file a motion on the day to say a deal's been done, couldn't they?
The average federal case takes 2 years. Any lawyer will tell you that. 18 to 24 months is the average length of time for a federal case. So that's why I was like, wait a minute. They haven't filed anything. There's nothing on here. What is going on here? He has until July 3rd to change his plea. But I would have thought by now they would have filed something in opposition to whatever it is, you know, like a motion to suppress evidence or a motion to, like, objection over a warrant or, you know, something like that. No, everything would be filed. So on Pacer, anything that they make a request to in the court has to go as a document. So they have to file. And I only know this because I went through my own lawsuit. So, and I went through a federal case, so I know how this all works. And anytime you make a request to the court, whether it's for discovery, whether it's for any sort of motion, you have to file it into the court. and they haven't made a single.
Oh no, there's Todd.
Which
There's
is
Todd in the
weird.
background.
That doesn't normally happen. Generally, after someone's arrested and they have their arraignment, then the lawyers start filing things. They'll start.
So, but remember, she went through civil. And I just, as I said, I don't know how a criminal case works.
The Duggars have filed,
but I know
nothing.
I know that. Right. I don't want to sign up for Twitter. Thank you. All right. If both sides are talking, then they could agree on something and file it on the day of the court, can't they? Because that's what can happen here, and the judge has to just sign off on it. Well, she's now a federal court expert. It would seem. And she kept saying that, hello, Alberta, and she kept saying Emily D. Baker wasn't qualified because she was a criminal. She only did criminal stuff. Well, she doesn't know. KJ was in a civil suit, not a criminal one. Yeah, that can wait till the very end.
I know. I've learned over time that you cannot apply rational thought to irrational behavior. That's what I always. We're not going to turn into those people that like spend money faster than we make it.
Oh.
I'll stay in my like average size house rather than like get a baller house just in case we ever lose our jobs. They always say the people that are the richest are the ones that aren't spending their money.
This is a little bit out of order, but that's okay.
That's another thing about YouTube and just celebrities, the flexing they do when they buy things. Like, I'm so boring. I still am driving an 11-year-old car. I could probably buy a new car, and I just don't. Because there's nothing wrong with it.
See, Todd,
I have 100,000 miles on it, and I'm like, why would I get a new car?
Todd said in the background, there's nothing wrong with it.
Do I consider myself rich? This person seems kind of... This person's trolling. I hate having car payments more than anything, and I hate car insurance on new cars. I don't I drive so infrequently. Like, the last thing I want is to pay a bunch of money for a car that I don't drive ever.
She didn't even know how much gas cost.
Yeah.
Somebody talks about the cost of gas in Minnesota, and she had to ask Todd how much it was, because she doesn't drive her car. All right, so this one says, "Hi Georgia. I have to remember the court that Douglas, the attorneys, aware KJ's coverage of the court. They are probably minimising." Well, that wouldn't surprise me either. You can't see her getting out the grocery store. I think he does all the grocery shopping. I think she said before. I think she said beforehand he did all the grocery shopping. Okay, here's the next one. These are slightly out of order, so I apologize. Oops. What did I just do? He's got a Camry. She's got a Highlander, apparently. And it's not big enough. I had a little Toyota Corolla with 2 kids.
Happy birthday, Natalie. I hope you have a wonderful day. I don't even think it was like, someone said I was being a hypocrite in the comments because I have a hashtag that says cancel the Duggars. I'm like, that doesn't mean I actually am canceling the Duggars.
Trish goes, does clickbait.
Happy birthday, Natalie. Yeah. So, anyways, but I was watching all these videos just a few minutes ago. In terms of the Duggars, I think it's different than saying, like, I feel like it's way different with the Duggars to say cancel the Duggars than it is to say, like, cancel someone because they said something I don't like. Like, that person said, I don't know, they were mean about a kid, or that person has a political opinion that I don't agree with, or that person has whatever it is. And I think that's a lot different than a family that covers up for a sexual predator that, like, literally is abusing children and downloading child sexual abuse material. So wild to me. Those are the kinds of people you should not want to have platforms, but they will. Oh, honey, I'm sorry about your dog. That's so sad. We put our paws up to the rainbow bridge for your puppy. Sorry about your dog. Okay, so anyways, and then sometimes I wonder, when people are making content, are they mad about everything that they're talking about? Like, when I talk about the sister wives, I'm not mad. Happy birthday, Natalie. I hope you have a wonderful...
Okay, so next one. All right.
Like, so overwhelming. Okay, so that I went through, right? So maybe you're not.
Oh.
And they're actually on a TV show.
Someone
So,
says she'd make a great attorney. She
but I
should
was
go to
watching different than saying, like,
law school.
And anyways, and then do you think sometimes when people do this, it's like fake outrage? This whole idea of, like, I'm 40. A lot of these are kids that think I'm, like, the worst, and I'm okay with that. I don't know. I'm constantly amazed. I'm amazed. I would have thought of gossip, and, like, I don't feel like I do justice about it on YouTube. But they haven't filed anything. Like, they haven't, unless they haven't filed anything for, like, to suppress it. So, and I went through it, and they have their arraignment, then the lawyers start filing things. They'll start filing, like, whatever based on the bond hearing that he was going to on hold while their August is when it. I find it funny too that people get upset with me for like covering the Duggars. That's like what I've done for years. I don't know why that surprises people. I also think it's weird when they count the number of videos I do a story. It got like so overwhelming.
Okay, so now she's going to convince that.
Maybe I'm just old. I don't know. There's this whole idea of like, I'm 42, I'm not a baby. Half the people that say I'm canceled are like 15. So I guess to a 15-year-old, yes, I'm canceled. Like the 16 and 15-year-olds on YouTube hate me, I guess. Whatever. Like whatever. I don't know who you are. A lot of these are kids that think I'm like the worst human in the world. And I'm always like, what did I do? What was it that I did? Like, I pay my taxes. I don't have any criminal convictions, like, beyond my DUI in 2004. And that was like 17 years ago. I don't abuse my child. Yeah, so I think there are people that literally just look for reasons to not like you. So it's like, oh, you're an old lady, so I hate you, or whatever. I am middle-aged.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that. I think it's funny that... I also wonder, too, if, like, people understand reporting. Like, do people get that, like, when you're reporting on things, you don't just go off, like, what someone says? You have to actually do some research? I don't know. I'm constantly amazed. I'm amazed. Maybe I'm just old. I don't know. There's this whole idea.
Okay, so then we've got this one.
So maybe in a way it's good that Trisha and Ethan's podcast is over. This week has been one of those weeks where it's like, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about on my channel.
Toad's yawning. Uh-oh.
And then there's some topics I don't really want to talk about because I don't know.
He might be coming to say goodnight.
Well, I don't know what you would consider yourself. That's like the favorite thing people like to say is that I'm not a reporter and I'm not a journalist. I'm something else. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I am. You don't, I guess I'm doing a job and my job is to report on things, but I don't know what my job is if I'm not reporting. Yeah. It's true. They'll give them whatever views them the views most likely. That's true. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a tea spiller because I feel like tea is like just flat out gossip, and like I don't feel like I do just gossip, but maybe.
If you're thinking this is all over the place, you're right, because it is. It is out of order. But thank you to Llama Girl for doing it all. So that's what Llama Girl had. She saved us from the kiss, fortunately. So, anyway. You do fantasy stories. So what do you reckon she is? Yeah, thank you, Llama Girl. So Emily Artful hasn't had an update yet. So it looks like that's going to happen after I go to bed, which is fine. Just a couple of things. So you would understand, you will have remembered about the fact the opposition in Victoria had gone on and wanted medical reports and everything on the Premier. So this is Daniel Andrews. He's the Premier of Victoria. He's the one that he's been off work since March due to a back injury. Anyway, he's released a statement today to say that, where was it? Oh yeah, he's shared to say that he's coming back to work, that they've cleared him for work. He's been given the all clear to return to work on June 28. And he said he's excited to come back to work, but he still has got some recovery to do, but he's been cleared to go to work. So this is him.
Hi everyone, I just want to provide you with an update. This week I've had scans and a big meeting with all of my medical team at the Alfred. Good news is the vertebrae in my back's almost fully healed. The brace has come off. That's the brace I've worn for 18 hours a day for the last 3 months. But the ribs are not fully healed. They'll take a while, and the doctors told me these next few weeks will be quite a painful adjustment to getting used to not having that brace on. Now, I want to thank quite a few people for their love and support and for their care. To Kath and the kids, of course, they're everything to me, and they've been there every step of the way, and I'm so grateful to them. I love them so, so much. In terms of my medical team, AMBOs, doctors, nurses, allied health professionals, they've all been fantastic, and I'm deeply grateful to each of them. But in some ways, most of all, those strangers, tens of thousands of them who've sent me cards and notes and letters, your kindness and your concern is in some ways the best medicine, and I can't thank you enough. Now, in terms of when I'll be back in the next couple of weeks, very soon, and I'm raring to go. Once I'm fully fit and healthy, I'll be back. Being Premier of this state's a great honour, and I look forward to continuing working hard every day, getting things done, and I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon.
So there you go. That was his message. So he's been cleared. So his deputy has been filling that void while he's been off work. The other thing is this is the G7 summit. I noticed Aussies, our Australian Prime Minister's not there. He's obviously not important enough. Anyway, but the leaders are there, the G7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, there's more than 7. The President of the United States is in the UK, and they got to meet the Queen. He got to meet the Queen. So one of the things I talked about was recovery from the pandemic worldwide, and they've titled a bill called the Carbis Bay Declaration, which aim for a 100-day goal to develop vaccines, treatments, and diagnosis for future diseases to bolster surveillance for the new illnesses. The US has promised to share 500 million doses, and the UK 100 million doses. And between the G7 countries, they want to share at least 1 billion vaccine shots to those nations that are struggling. We've heard from Nepal. Indonesia's struggling. So a lot of those countries that are struggling at the moment, the big countries have said that they would help. Germany's there. Japan's there. Canada's there. Oh, Canada. And there's the Bidens. And Justin Trudeau. And apparently the Queen made a joke. And everybody was laughing at her joke. So she's looking good for 95. And the 95-year-old monarch Trudeau is so's Morrison. So the 95-year-old monarch drew laughter from her guests as she chided them during a group session. Are you supposed to be all looking as if you're enjoying yourself? And then Prince William and Kate was there, Charles and Duchess of Cornwall. And there you go. So they're also set to embrace a global minimum tax of 15% on multinational corporations following an agreement reached a week ago by their finance minister. The minimum is meant to stop companies from using tax havens to shift profit so that will be very interesting. But anyway, you're Canadian, so you can say, yeah, well, I can say that about our Prime Minister too. So there you go. So Biden's met the Queen. It's interesting. There's only it's interesting that the Queen is like right in the center. I know, photo op, and then they have photo op. Then there's a pic where they have their hands all over each other. I know, it's really bizarre. Yeah. So Australia's there somewhere. I don't know. He's supposed to be there. So the other thing I talked yesterday about Madeline Groves, her complaint about the swimming. And it looks like that Swimming Australia is going to do an investigation to find out what is going on. So they're doing an investigation. Oh, did he? I don't know whether he did meet the Queen. I don't know. Okay, well, he may have. Be his first time as president, though, right? So they said they want to find out if there is an institutional problem with women, if there is a misogynistic culture in swimming against women. So Grace has said she's not going to give up swimming. She says she's just taking a break and she'll come back into it. So, but hopefully this now will start a dialogue. They said that no one else has spoken up as yet, but they're hoping that this now will encourage that dialogue so that they can do that. And they're actually going to set an independent all-female panel so that dialogue can take place. So here's the question I've got. Because if it is an all-female panel, are the women in the sport likely to talk, or are they still likely not to talk? So that's the other thing that's happened. Hello, Ginger Lee. There's still places in Victoria that have got no power. They're into day 3 of no power. And you hope they talk, Alberta. I really think that I hope that this opens up the door so that conversations can take place so that they can actually find out and deal with those issues. Yeah. So that, is most of what I've got for tonight. Seeing if else is anything else to state. So yeah, I've had an up and down. Oh, that little refugee girl. If they don't take the opportunity, well, that's true. That little girl, Sanika, that's in hospital at the moment. It's her birthday today, and she turned 4. So it was her 4th birthday today in hospital. So she remains in a stable condition. So the good news is they've stabilised her. And so the member for North Sydney said there had been enormous outpouring of goodwill towards her family. I think it's time we brought them back from Christmas Island, and that we look forward to providing them a long-term future in. Oh, someone told me how to say it, and I can't say it. And the community that have been very supportive. So the community wants them there. It's not as if the community doesn't. So this is. So this is the cake that they did for her in the hospital. So they've given her a birthday to remember in hospital, I think. So this is her dad. So they've been able. So this is her dad, and celebrities send. So a lot of celebrities are getting on board now.
Happy birthday, Tarnika. I miss you. I love you, Tarnika.
I love you, Tarnika.
Bye. See you.
I see you.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Like a diamond in the sky.
So they sang, so they gave us, hello Oz, we loved your sock, by the way. So they sang a performance of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, which was her favourite song. So so they've tried to make it as special for her as possible, but the government's really doubling down at the moment. So they thought maybe the acting Prime Minister might be able to might do something while the Prime Minister was away, but that doesn't seem to have happened. So, but yeah, so it's quite heartbreaking, really. So she is a refugee family, Alberta. They came. So her parents came over on visas separately. They came on boats. They were on visas. They met. They got married. They were living in a place. Both of the daughters are born in Australia, so both children are Australian. They were married here. Their visas expired, and they've been in detention since 2019. She got sick and has been fighting off a high temperature for about a week before she was able to get medical treatment, and then they were airlifted to hospital. She's had sepsis and a UTI and other various things. The community that they were living in when she went in to see Tony Clutis, when they were arrested or when they were when their visa overstayed, has actually said that they're happy to support the family and they want the family to stay in their community. And the government is rejecting calls. But the good news is that she's in a stable condition. The Premier of Western Australia, so she's in the Western Australian Children's Hospital called the Princess Margaret Hospital. The Premier of Western Australia has stated that he will not let her out until she is, that like the hospital are not going to, nor the government, the state government is not in a hurry to hurry her out, that they will look after her in hospital until the doctors clear her, because they don't want her, the state government doesn't want her going back into detention. So if that means that they've got to hold on to her a little bit longer, then the government's prepared to do that. So it's a big talking point in Australia at the moment. There are lots and lots of people. So all those celebrities that did Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, my Twitter feed is just full of celebrities, and my Twitter feed is filled with people outraged that 2 Australian girls are being told they can't stay because their parents' visas expired. So says it is a very difficult case because firstly, every court has found that this family are not entitled to refugee status and other Tamils have gone back to Sri Lanka, like 1,500 of them. So they've sent all the others back. So the government also has brought in a rule that if you come by boat, you're not allowed to stay here. They will resettle you. They will look and resettle you elsewhere, but you're not allowed to stay here. So they came across, when they originally came here, they came on boat. And that's the issue. And I think it's got to that point now where if there's a community that wants to take them and is saying we're happy to have them, I think I even read that one of the businesses was actually willing to employ them. So if you've got a whole community that's ready to embrace them and adopt them and make sure that they're not going to be a burden on the government, I can't see what the issue is, other than the fact that the government believes in some warped way that it means that people are going to get on boats and try to come to Australia. That's their logic. If we let these people stay, then everyone else is going to expect to stay. However, the fact of the matter is that this beautiful little girl was born here in Australia. She's Australian. Her sister is Australian. The 2 girls were born in Australia. Yeah. So the community wants them there. So he says what we don't want to see is the boats return. So if the community is prepared to help them, if people are, it's so it says how the case has unfolded. So let's have a look. So she was treated for pneumonia and sepsis. Well, that's right. So the mother is with her. The father and the sister aren't allowed with her. They've got to stay at Christmas Island. So they've been there since 2019, but their legal battle stretches back years. So let's just see a bit of the history here. So Nades arrived in Australia by boat in 2012 to seek asylum from persecution in Australia. According to court documents from 2019, he claimed he was forced to join the Liberation Tigers of Tamil in 2001. And the Tamil Tigers fought to create an independent state during the Civil War, but was defeated in 2009. Tamils report that they still face retribution, and he has said that he was harassed by the military and bears scars from the government. Now, Priya, the mother, she arrived by boat in 2013 to seek asylum. She fled Sri Lanka after her then fiancé and 5 other men from her village were burned by the army. They both arrived in Australia without visas and were considered unlawful maritime arrivals under Commonwealth law. They were granted temporary bridging visas and were settled in Queensland, which had welcomed refugees for years. The pair married and had their first daughter, Copper, in 2015, and Tharnika was born in 2017. On March the 4th, 2018, Priya's visa expired. At dawn the next day, Nades, Priya and the 2 girls were removed from their home and placed into custody by Border Force officials. They were flown then to Broadmeadows Detention Centre in Melbourne. Tharnika then celebrated her 1st and 2nd birthdays behind wire fences. The removal of the family outraged the community, who started the Home to Barlow campaign to bring them back. They were considered boat people and they have to leave Australia, is what they said. So in 2018, the Federal Court Circuit rejected the family's appeal against deportation. The Justice found the initial assessment by Immigration Assessment Authority, which denied refugee status, had been properly conducted. Also noted that Nades had returned to Sri Lanka on 3 occasions during the Civil War, and there was no evidence to suggest his family still living in Sri Lanka was at risk. The family were able to remain in Australia while they waited for an appeal to be heard, but they lost that. On the night of Thursday, the 29th of August 2019, they were removed from the immigration centre to be taken to Sri Lanka. Supporters arrived at Melbourne Airport to protest the imminent deportation, with some gaining access to tarmac. An injunction to prevent them from being removed from the country was granted while the plane was en route to Darwin. The family were then moved to the Immigration Detention Centre on Christmas Island, which was closed July that year. Tharnika celebrated her 3rd birthday at the centre, and she and her sister are the only children in an Australian Immigration Detention Centre. Now, our government promised that there would be no children in detention. Injunctions have prevented the family by being deported while the courts determine whether Tharnika is eligible for refugee protection. In my opinion, the fact that these 2 girls are Australian. There are growing calls for the family to be allowed to remain in Australia, or at least be released back into the community while legal bids continue. There are specific concerns that the 2 girls remaining in detention for so long and the quality of medical care the family is receiving on Christmas Island. In 2020, Priya was flown to Perth for medical reasons after experiencing severe abdominal pain and vomiting for 2 weeks. Tharnika had been unwell for 10 days before she was medically evacuated with a suspected blood infection earlier this week. Friends are saying she also had pneumonia, which they believed caused the sepsis. The AMA, the Australian Medical Association, has cautioned against the child being returned to Christmas Island. I think we should have a long, hard think about whether, in a psychological and social sense, it is safe to discharge her from hospital back to an environment she came from. This was set up to happen by having little children living in an isolated location in lockdown conditions. Former High Court Justice Chief Sir Gerard Brennan told the Sydney Morning Herald that the cruelty being inflicted upon Tharnika to punish her parents. The federal Labor leader, Anthony Albanese, said the Minister for Home Affairs has the power to grant the family visas and should do so. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk and West Australia Premier Mark McGowan have both called on the federal government to make a decision. Over the years, the family has attracted supporters from across political spectrum, and the federal government isn't moving. In 2019, Prime Minister Scott Morrison categorically ruled out ministerial intervention to stop the family's deportation. Home Affairs Minister Karen Andrews this week said the family were not being considered for resettlement in New Zealand or the US, despite senior government officials previously raising that option. Michael McCormick, who was this week acting Prime Minister while Mr Morrison was overseas, said the matter was still under consideration by the government and the decision could be made and announced shortly. What is happening is that there are many people that are just, I guess the courts are just being clogged up at the moment with legal document after legal document after legal document, just to try and keep these girls from being so. So you've got medical people saying they shouldn't return. Yes, Alberta knows to make the final decision. You're correct. They've been put in the too hard basket. And the thing is, Christmas Island Detention Centre has officially closed. They're not taking any more refugees. I think they are the only ones on Christmas Island. So they're not even getting adequate. They're only getting the basics of care. So the government has really dropped the ball on this one, and so everyone is quite angry. Oh, it is wrong. It is wrong. Yeah. And I think to try and teach a lesson to people, you've got two innocent, beautiful little girls that are being punished, and those girls shouldn't be punished. This is a case of the children being punished for something the parents did. And as I said, both of those girls are Australian. It's a shame Poppy Seeds isn't around because she could probably help explain how it works. But it is hard. It is hard to get. It is hard to. It's virtually impossible without intervention from the government for them to stay. I think, which is really sad. And don't forget, if they go back to Sri Lanka, those girls don't know any other way of life. Even to put those girls into a community now, they're going to be so disadvantaged because they've only ever been locked up. So yeah, it's it has me a bit. It's got everybody really riled up at the moment. It's a very hot topic. So that's how that's all worked out. Oh, did he? Your dad almost moved you to Australia in the 70s? Yeah, but they were letting people, I was going to say, they were letting people in the 70s. Apparently, you can, yeah, so anyway. So, yeah, that little girl, Tharnika, has spent every birthday in immigration detention. So this is her first birthday with any type of freedom, because she's in the hospital. So, and they're making sure your mum wouldn't go. Yeah. So that's really quite horrifying and sad. So anyway, I'm gonna head off now. I'm gonna go to bed. Emily Artful hasn't. No, it's not. You're right, Alberta. It's not fair to those kids, and I'll keep an update. I'll definitely keep you all updated. But just got to pray that sanity prevails, that the government will just do something right. Even just giving them a visa so they can live in some sort of freedom would be okay. Yeah. So, I got church in the morning too because we're out of lockdown. So, and that's good because we can have we're only allowed to have 50 at church. So we have a restriction, and we have to be one person every 4 square meters. So with the size of our church, we can have 50. You can have 50 plus the one person doing the service. So technically 51. So there'll be a lot of people, particularly a lot of the older people, that won't come out possibly tomorrow just because of the high risk and the uncertainty and everything. So anyway, thank you all for joining me. I'm sorry I keep having all these internet issues. I guess when I wake up tomorrow, I'll see all the stuff about the receipts that Emily Artful has put together regarding Creepshow, and maybe that will give us some more ideas to what happened. As I said, I can't wrap my head around it. I've watched a few discussions about it. I can't wrap my head around it. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and I will catch you tomorrow night. Oops.